Hi, my name is Mary Ellen Taylor, and I'm here to give my family a Christmas present. So hopefully 2013 we'll have some peace in our life. And, maybe eventually I'll be able to regain my reputation, which neighbors on Hilltop Avenue have severely tarnished. The police department in Berkeley Heights have severely tarnished out of vindictiveness, and Sloan Kettering lying and getting away with perjury and harming a disabled, with intent to harm a disabled person. A family that has never taken care of my husband, they bolted, and we're quick to criticize a wife because then, that was just the easy thing because they've never done anything for their own family member. To start off, what I'd like to do in this video is give you a little background and then list off some things that maybe people on Hilltop Avenue in Berkeley Heights should be more sensitive and realize that they wouldn't want it done to their family, but they're more than willing to do to ours. A lot of things happened. Pfizer Pharmaceutical in 2000 fired me, told me to get out, and didn't care if my husband died. I spent 9.5 weeks in Boston saving his life, and a year running to rehab centers to get him back up on his feet so he was functional. No help from the neighborhood, just a lot of gossip, and that crazy wife of his. No, can we bring you a meal? Can we drive him anywhere? Can we help you and your daughter out? Because this has got to be tragic on a 6.5-year-old. No. The Berkeley Heights school system, once we took her from private school to public school because funding wasn't there because Pfizer fired me, wanted to make her a special needs child. So we took her out of that school, put her in a private school, a Catholic school that wasn't very nice either. Because in 2007, when Sloan Kettering instigated a guardianship against my husband with some family members that thought, well, if he's dying, if we can get his guardianship and get his money, then we can walk away and look like, blame the wife that she was the bad one and steal it all and leave a little girl and a mother on the street. So that year, the Catholic school in Long Hill Township was just egregious. Teachers really vicious to my daughter because police officer's wife worked there, and the Catholic Church, Sloan Kettering says you need chemo, even though he didn't. And they were going to beat up on us and abuse us as much as they could, and they did. And the Berkeley Heights police, sirens, whistles, everything you could possibly imagine. It looked like a freak show in front of my house. Then, we go up to Peter Black a year later, Dr. Black, we're being drugged through the courts, money being just run through. We don't have any choice. Judge John F. Malone in Union County is like, I'm doing what I want. And I'm going to make sure all my lawyer friends have lots of money out of this. Anthony P. Kearns III, who started the whole mess, filed the guardianship papers and got the certifications from Sloan Kettering that are perjury and from family members that were complete lies. He's not being held for official misconduct or that he had major conflicts of interest in the case because he's a good Catholic. And he's a friend of Chris Christie's. Donald Vanarelli was named to be the court-appointed attorney. He ran up like $8,000 worth of bills, didn't ask my husband for his version of the story, didn't protect his medical rights, HIPAA rights, didn't get permission to access them, just went and did it. And then after that, he ran up a whole bunch more money, which he even put a ghost attorney on it so he could double bill, but we can't get that off. So that's the start of it. But fast forward a year later, we're in the courts, go up to Dr. Peter Black. He came back from sabbatical for my husband, because that's my husband's real doctor since year 2000. He's like, why was Matthew on chemo? I'm like, I didn't want him on it. And he said, you look kind of stressed, Mariel. And I told him what was, and he goes, they owe you millions of thanks. You're the only one that's been taking care of your husband. Who else has helped you? No one. Your mom, your dad, but where's his family been? And how could these people do this to you? So he gives me the reports proving to the judge that Sloan Kettering's lying. Well, the judge has got a problem then, because the judge wants to get Donald Vanarelli paid. And he wasn't going to settle the guardianship until I paid Donald Vanarelli. I said, I'm not paying someone that's stealing my husband's money. And my husband, this whole guardianship has been a scam. So my husband requests that Donald Vanarelli's fired, and we get another attorney, and we're thinking that he's going to help, but no, he's in on the fix, Daniel Jakovic, up from Rutherford. And he didn't protect my husband's rights. He didn't go into the court and say he does not fit the definition for guardianship. My attorney, when they started this whole thing, said I had to countersue for the guardianship. Otherwise, they would never grant it to me, even though a spouse has first rights. So that's just to give everybody a little background on what was going on. But in the end, I got the guardianship. Judge John F. Malone, instead of saying, there's no guardianship, and guess what, Mr. Kern, since you instigated this mess, you get the family members in Sloan Kettering to pay for it. No, we got stuck with a bunch of bills. And Mr. Vanarelli put a lien on our house, which is illegal because he can't do it, but he did it anyway, and Judge John F. Malone's going to let him do it. And Mr. Vanarelli pulled me into the court twice more. He tried to garnish my husband's Social Security, which he can't. And he tried to garnish other assets which are not accessible to him. And Judge Malone was actually going to sign that he could, until they found out I had my Series 7 and 66 in finance. And I told them that it's fraud upon the court that they're committing. And Judge Malone told me, he said, I am the court. I make the laws. So that was an interesting one that day. But after the guardianship was granted, Chief Michael Mathis from Berkeley Heights, they had somebody from Virginia called and said my daughter was going to hurt herself. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What are you guys talking about? 4 police officers, whistles, lights, like 9-10 days after the guardianship. And then the school went after my daughter, and Michael Mathis filed a false DIFUS report saying that I was delusional. And rumors were around that my daughter was, she had problems. So they destroyed her whole high school event in GL because, that's the kid with problems and her father's disabled. And, the mother, the woman down the street in depositions, which, committed perjury, said she was poisoning him. So, that's the problem house. We're not problematic. We pay our fair share. We pay our taxes to the town. They don't have any problem taking our money, but they have great problem with leaving us alone.